Hello, I want to talk to you today about walking interviews. You know what a research interview is. A researcher and a participant sit in a room together, the researcher asks some questions and the participant answers. But there are other ways. Tech can help. You can do interviews over the phone or via email or messaging or online. But there are other ways in person too, and the walking interview is one of them. Walking and talking is a very normal activity for most people, and it can be useful to bring this into a research encounter. In fact, this method is already being used by researchers around the world. One is my colleague Alistair Roy. He did some work probably about 10 years ago now. In Manchester, he was working with an organisation called the Men's Room, which worked with young men in the city who were often homeless, maybe sex workers, perhaps using drugs. And he wanted to talk to them about their lives and their lives in the city. And one of his participants, they were sitting in a room at the Men's Room, and Ali was asking the participant about his life in the city, and the participant said, "If you want to know about my life out there, why are we sitting in here?" That was a light bulb moment for Ali, and he said, "Good point, let's go out, show me round." And he began to refer to his research participants as tour guides. And he would ask them to take him around the city and show him the places where they spent time, maybe where they slept, where they felt safe, where they felt unsafe, and so on. He found he got really good data. They used some photos to supplement the walks that they took. And he also said that it was a much more natural way for one man to talk to another than face to face in a room. And that if the topic of conversation got a bit sticky, maybe a little bit emotional, it was possible to just almost walk through that and move on with the discussion. If you want to use walking interviews, you need to think about disability. Some people with mobility problems may find it more difficult to walk and talk, although some may be fine. And some people with other disabilities may have difficulties. So, for example, people with hearing impairments may struggle to do a walking interview in a city where there's a lot of background noise. You also need to be sure that you can record your data. You need some tech for that there's not too much background noise or too many distractions, and that you can ensure your participants' confidentiality. But once you have all that in place, you should be good to go. And you can supplement, as Ali did, with photos, or afterwards Maggie O'Neill does walking interviews with groups and then gets them to map their journeys and map the area on paper with colours and so on. There's all sorts of ways you can supplement your walking interviews, and they can even be done remotely, such as by using FaceTime, Signal or WhatsApp, as long as each of you has the relevant equipment and there's a data connection where both of you are walking. If you want to give this a try, there's plenty of literature you can read to figure out more about it and how it's been used by people. It's a very interesting method, and if you're attracted to it, I would encourage you to give it a go.